Hey guys, what's going on? JH Vlogs here, back with another video. If you're new around here, hello and welcome. My name's Joe and I'm a third year student at the University of Reading, where I study real estate. And today I want to start a discussion on internships and work experience. I'm going to talk through exactly what they are, the differences between them, and whether or not you should consider getting one. So if that sounds like something you're interested in, pull up a chair, get cozy, hit that subscribe button, and let's get chatting. Just before we start, my question of the day is, who would win in a fight, soup or scissors? Let me know down in the comment section below, and I'll discuss the answer at the end of my next video. So stay tuned for that. Anyway, back to work experience and back to internships. So what are they? Well, essentially, they give you a window into a profession. So say an internship and an accountancy would give you an insight into the world of accountants, or a work experience at a bank would give you an insight into the world of banking. You get to see professionals doing their job. What is the day in? What is the day out? What do they get up to? What are their tasks? Things like that. From there, you can get a better understanding of what their day-to-day roles and tasks might be. Depending upon the experience, you could even get a chance to partake in some of the work that they do on a day-to-day basis to see if that's something that you like. But I'll talk about that more later in the video. What is important to note is the differences between different experiences. Every company and every department with every company runs it differently. So what I'm going to discuss today is just the general broad outline. From there, companies will specialise off and each company will do it slightly differently. Either way, all work experiences and all internships allow you to immerse yourself within that field of work to see if that's something that you enjoy doing on a day-to-day basis, which is pivotal if you're like trying to pick a career. You want to do something that you enjoy. So why not get out there, get some experiences, and talk about it. So you can find out if you truly like that work or not. Before you pursue a career down that avenue, you can assess if you even want to go down that avenue. But again, I'll touch more on that later. So who can apply for these opportunities? Well, generally internships and work experience are open to anybody right from year 9 up until after your graduation at university. So it's a broad spectrum and range, but within that, you won't both be applying for the same job. So say company A wouldn't advertise work experience and be taking applicants both from year 9 and say the second year of your university education. It'd be company A's looking for those in year 10 and company B's looking for those in the first year of uni, and tend to be more specialised once you look within the broad categories. And as for when they take place, generally they dovetail quite nicely with your studies, so they'll be during a term break, the summer, Michaelmas, Easter, or they could be within, I think, half term or reading week, depending on whether you're at school, at college, at university, whatever you call it, that week in the middle of the term. You know exactly what I'm saying here. But internships in particular can be even longer than that. So there could be a full year long in between your studies, or they could even be 2 years long after you've completed your graduation. That's hinting at one of the differences between internships and work experience. But before I discuss the others, again, I want to go back to the point that under the heading of internships or under the heading of work experience, the work will massively vary. You're not going to offer the same opportunity to somebody in year 10 as you are to somebody in their final year of study, because their knowledge on a subject area in a specific field, like say real estate surveying, is going to be vastly different. You'd probably expect the person nearing the end of their university education to know a lot more in-depth and technical detail. And that's just one of the differences. So the work they'll give those two students will be completely different. You also may be given different work depending on who your employer is, whether they trust you quite a bit or whether they don't, or whether they frequently run these sort of programs, or it might be the first time they're ever trying it. Different people will allow you to take on different amounts of work. This all alludes to the picture that you get very different experiences from different places. But what are the sort of overarching bits of work that you complete? It could be shadowing people on their day-to-day roles. It could be sitting in on meetings. It could be taking part in special activities, say if they frequently run these sort of programs, or team building exercises, or it can be getting on with your own projects that are set for you within the company. It can even be completing work that's then given to clients, either on your own, giving your own piece of work, or supporting staff higher up the command chain. Is that what I'm looking for? We're going to roll with it. So both of them are like a try before you buy with a job, just to make sure that you like it and that you want to pursue a career down that avenue. But what are the differences between the two? Again, stressing that no two companies will be the same, no two placements will be the same. What are the broad differences between work experience? What are the broad differences between that and an internship? As a general rule, work experience takes place over a shorter period, say 1 to 2 weeks. They tend to be unpaid, but again, this varies. And they can often be more beginner, so there might be more work experience opportunities open to year 9s than there are people in the last year of their university studies. Given their nature, they could be amazing when you're just starting out and there's a whole load of professions that you're interested in and you don't know which one you want to pursue. You can go and grab a couple of weeks of work experience here and there, and it starts to narrow down your options, giving you an insight into the roles and which one you might prefer. Almost acting as a prerequisite for internships, which in turn can act as a prerequisite for grad jobs, which in turn acts as a prerequisite for an actual job, which in turn, you get the picture. Speaking of internships, These tend to be longer. They can be 2 weeks, again, all the way up to 2 years, but say a month or 2 months is also very common. And once you're on the job, you tend to specialise to a much deeper level. As you're there for a longer time, you seem to build up that level of trust that then allows you to take on more difficult tasks. They do tend to be paid, but again, this can vary. And sometimes high-performing interns can actually be offered a job either immediately after the internship finishes or after they've then finished their studies for say 1 or 2 more years. Again though, I do want to stress that these are just general rules and they're often broken. For instance, there was one company I was negotiating with last summer for 8 weeks on placement with them, which would have seen me take on quite deep-leveled and specialised tasks, and that came under the title of work experience when actually the criteria of it were a lot more like an internship. It's just the title of it there and then. And by the way, if anybody's wondering why I'm saying it like I never got the opportunity, I didn't. This little thing called the pandemic happened. I don't know, it's changed a few things, like ruffled a few feathers, disrupted a few things, and that was one of them, albeit by far one of the least important things it disrupted. Anyway, moving on to the question of whether you should get one or not. And well, I can't recommend them highly enough. When I first joined university, somebody said something that really resonated with me. They told me that when you're 35 years old and have a full-time job working for Savills, JLL aren't going to give you the opportunity to go and work there for a couple of weeks to see if you like it. Take those opportunities now. Side note, for anybody who doesn't know, Savills and JLL are 2 competing real estate surveyors at the top of their game. And that really stuck with me. A lot of people say that, right, I want to go and do this, or right, I want to go and do that. But how do you actually know unless you've spent time doing it? For all the reading you can do online, for all the idea of the money it's going to make you, or the help you can give to the community, or the lifestyle benefits, how do you know unless you're actually doing that role, whether you like it or not? Are you going to be miserable? Like, is it all that you think? Is it what it's cut out to be? Internships and work experience can help to shed light on that. I know they've helped to shape, form and change my career path. Personally, I've seen the benefit of them. I've seen what they can do. I thought I was really interested down this one particular avenue, and having some experience there, I've sort of pulled out, no, that isn't for me, and I've gone a different way. And that's the beauty of these opportunities. They've allowed me to skim what it's like to work in lots of different professions. So now I know the one I'm heading for. I know why I'm heading there. I know that I'm going to enjoy it, and I'm going to keep plowing down that path with everything I've got, doubling down and keeping all my focus on that area. And yes, it takes up time. It takes up a week, 2 weeks, whatever. University summers, in particular, they can be over 4 months long. So what if I miss 1 or 2 weeks for something that's given me the benefits I've just listed and more below? It just makes sense to me. Like, I now know I'm happy. I now know what career path I want to pursue. What is giving up a couple of those weeks here and there just to help your career? Not just does it decrease your risk of specialising in a profession that will make you miserable, but it'll also help you stand out to employers. In this highly competitive job market where lots of people are going to university, lots of people are getting good grades, it shows that you've got drive, it shows that you've got willing, it shows you're curious, you're ambitious. You're going out, you're securing these opportunities, you're giving up your time to do so. Meaning if the employer you want to look for ultimately is in this profession, they can see that you've got some experience in that area and that's a benefit. But it works for all industries. It shows that you've got that drive, that ambition, which is so transferable. And these things tend to build up, so don't worry if you can't get any internships immediately or any work experience. If you start with just insight days, which are just one day seeing how a company works, you build a couple of those, you'll then find it easier to get work experience. You get a couple of those, you then might find it easier to get an internship. Guess what? You get a few of those, you're more than likely to find it easier to get a job, and just sort of build it up like a snowball, keep it rolling down the hill. Building on the beneficial links of work experience, internships and jobs. I mentioned earlier that high-performing interns can sometimes be offered a job, which say if you're in your final year of university, not only do you avoid that really stressful process of applying for both jobs and trying to complete your university work at the same time, but you're able to focus and put all the time into your studies, which allows you to get higher grades, which will make you stand out as a candidate even more down the line. Another benefit I found is that the skills I've learned on the job, on the front line, seeing what's happening in the industry, changing day to day, I've been able to bring back to the classroom, and I've been able to intertwine into my projects and essays to get higher marks. So the two are reinforcing one another. It's helped to supplement my learning as I can see what changes are coming in real time. And I'll tie those into my essays and projects and allow me to get even higher marks, standing out as a great student. I'm not really sure what else I can say to try and convince you to go out and try and secure some of these opportunities, some work experience and some internships. At least try and get 1 or 2. If I have left anything unclear, please do let me know down in the comments below and I'll try and clear it up for you. Other than that, if you could please subscribe, I'd be really appreciative, and in return I'll keep bringing you university and real estate based content. I think that's all I have to share with you today. Thank you very much for your time and have a wonderful rest of your day.